Hello, everybody, and welcome to another career conversation series with the Radisson Hotel Group. We are very thrilled to have Mr. Phil Roberts with us here today, and I am Sammy Govender. I am the HR manager at the Radisson Red Rosebank Hotel in Johannesburg. So we are very privileged to have Mr. Phil Roberts with us. He's currently the general manager at Al Safe House, a member of Radisson Individuals. And today's conversation, we are actually going to dive into Mr. Phil's career journey. We're going to explore his career moves, his successful transition across countries, and guide us through his experience of actually opening a hotel. He's also going to give us tips on how to build your career with the Radisson Hotel Group and discover how you can grow yourself into a general manager if you so wish. At the end of this conversation, I will be reading some of the questions that you have for Mr. Phil. So please write them in the comments. I will read them out later. Okay, so Mr. Phil, a brief introduction. You're originally from the UK, currently living in Bahrain. You have 5 years' experience with the Radisson Hotel Group and 20 years in the kitchen, and recently appointed as the general manager at Al Safe House, a member of Radisson Individuals in Bahrain. And you've also just moved from Dubai to Bahrain, where you courageously took up the opportunity to open up a hotel from scratch, which is not an easy task to accomplish. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, the man of the moment, Mr. Phil Roberts. Hello, Phil.
Hi, Sammy. How are you? Thanks for having
I'm
me on.
doing, I'm doing fantastic. It's a pleasure to have you on.
That's great. Thank you very much for having me. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Excellent. So, if you could describe yourself to our viewers as any movie or TV character or book, who would it be and why, sir?
Oh, good question. Good question. I, if I think back in my childhood, and I think about characters that maybe I wanted to be in the future, or someone that sort of had a sort of a bit of inspiration on me was probably, and it's a bit of a strange one, and maybe for the older generation, the younger generation might not necessarily know this character. I would probably say Super Ted.
Okay, interesting. So, I've not heard of Super Ted in South Africa. So, could you just tell us this character and what did he do?
Yeah, so Super Ted was a cuddly bear. Um, yeah, so he had he was a bit of a character that was only made to come alive by an alien friend that visited the sort of the town that this bear was in, and he became a superhero.
Oh, wow.
He
Okay.
helped people, but most importantly, he could fly. He could travel. He could
Yeah.
go and see the world. He could go and see different people, different cultures. So in terms of that inspiration, being able to fly, being able to go and see different parts of the world, being able to go and see different cultures, that sort of resonated with myself. I like to
Yeah.
travel. I like to, obviously I'm now in different parts of the world from where I live. So yeah, it was a tough one because it was either that or Superman. Um, and Super Ted was one that really it was one that I always went back to when I finished school. I raced home to watch it.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, a bit of a funny character, not one that's very well known to everybody. Maybe the younger generation that might be on this call. But yeah, one that I always remember. There was obviously multiple cartoons, that type of thing back in the day. And that was one that I really enjoyed. So, and I think in terms of the cuddly bear, my daughter introduced me to a new boyfriend, and the new boyfriend was a bit nervous about meeting me. And my
Okay.
daughter said, "Don't worry, he's just a big cuddly bear." So there you go. So there you go. So that's how I sort of yeah thought about that one. So
Well, at least now you get to say that you are Super Ted and you're living out your
yeah,
superhero because you get to do it as a GM and your daughter confirms that you are a big cuddly bear.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, so tell us, what was your first ever paying job? So, what did you get money for the first ever job you've had?
Yeah, so my first ever paying job was actually in hospitality.
Oh, really?
I was in catering college, and I had friends who were at catering college and also through school that started working within the industry.
Yeah,
I'm from a city in the UK called Liverpool, and there was a hotel in Liverpool, one of the biggest hotels at the time in the city. It's no longer there, unfortunately. But it had a massive ballroom which
yeah.
hosted events for 700 people.
Wow.
So I originally started there as a banquet and waiter.
Oh,
So
nice.
that's how I not necessarily how I got introduced into the industry as such, because I was in college doing a chefing qualification.
Yeah.
But in terms of my first paying job, it was in a hotel being a waiter in a banquet hall. So
Oh, excellent. And you got a serious love for food because you've been in it for 20 years. So, can
yeah,
you tell us
yeah,
more about that?
yeah, long time, and to be fair, I fell into it. I fell into it really by chance. I enjoyed cooking at home with my grandparents.
Yeah.
My grandma was a cook, so I enjoyed baking of a weekend and cooking and things like that. But I never knew there was a career back then.
Okay.
I'm showing my age now. You didn't really have these celebrity chefs like you have now, which are all over the TV.
Yeah.
I think you had Delia Smith, was probably one of the most famous ones.
Yeah.
But there wasn't it wasn't really popular for people to go into, and particularly lads. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
it was perceived as as maybe cooking was for, and I
The
don't mean to be
ladies. Yeah.
chauvinist, but for ladies. And I did cookery at school. I was one of three lads in a class of 20. So
Okay.
you see, and one of the lads in school said he was going to catering college.
Okay.
And I said, what's that? I said, I'd never even heard of catering college.
Mm-hmm.
But I enjoyed cooking. I didn't really know what I wanted to do when I was leaving school. So I went down to an open day at the college, and I was accepted onto, I think they're still around these days, an MVQ qualification. So that's how I got into cooking. And then going back to the job in this hotel in Liverpool, I was a waiter, and then I
Okay.
got to know the chefs within the hotel.
Yeah.
Um, and I got friendly with a couple of chefs, and they'd obviously heard that I was doing a qualification for chefing, and they spoke to the executive chef at the hotel and said, "Look, do you have a vacancy?"
Yeah.
So I actually left college after about 6 months, uh,
Okay.
and I started in the hotel. So I continued I tried to continue my qualification within the hotel. So they would send me to college one day a week, and then I would work the other 4 days. And then eventually that just sort of took over. And that's where it started really for me in terms of the industry and hospitality.
Oh, lovely. That was actually a nice story. And then you go from operations to GM. Tell me about that because that's interesting.
Yeah, so I went from chefing to into operations first. I'd worked in chefing across multiple types of properties, multiple types of venues, from high street restaurants. I actually run a Premier League football stadium for a couple of years.
Oh,
A couple
nice.
of large scale hotels within Manchester. I was the executive chef. But I also worked some really high quality five-star hotels. So I got a broad spectrum of experiences, high street restaurants, and but it always brought me back to hotels.
Okay.
And then I was in a hotel. Well, it's over 10 years now, and I was the executive chef at a property, and the
Mm-hmm.
general manager, who I got on really well with, had an opening come up for a number two, for a deputy.
Okay.
Um, uh, there are various titles to these roles: operations manager, hotel manager, deputy general manager, and he needed a deputy.
Okay.
And he'd seen the role that I'd done within the kitchen, and within the team, and I was starting to have influence across the broader business.
Okay.
So we spoke about a bigger role, and I
Mm-hmm.
ended up taking on the hotel operations manager role, which I did for 4 years, and it was a resort hotel, within just on the outskirts of my home city. So
Okay.
so it was nice, and I did that for 4 years. So that's how I got into sort of the operations side, and then that continued when I then relocated to the Middle East, moving to Dubai,
Okay.
and then that's when I joined Radisson Hotel Group 5 years ago.
Oh, wow, lovely. So you got 5 years experience with the Radisson Hotel Group.
Yeah.
So with that operations role, how did it then help you with the strategic role of being a general manager within Radisson Hotel Group?
Yeah, so within Radisson, working within Radisson over the last 5 years, I got exposures to exposure to other opportunities, really, working with revenue managers, working with director of sales. Had a development plan set up with my GM. I was the hotel manager for him for a few years, for 3.5, 4 years. I had 3 or 4 different roles while I was in Dubai, and progressed within the same hotel, within the same hotels. It was a cluster role, so I oversaw 2 roles at the time.
Okay.
Um, so I got exposure to different things that I didn't have exposure necessarily to as a chef.
Okay.
Um, like I said, we had a development plan set up. I sat with my GM, my mentor at the time, a couple of years before eventually getting my GM role, where we would put a development plan together.
Okay.
And that was underpinned by a lot of the tools that Radisson have. So I went to Brussels and attended the leadership training program, which was a 3-day program. There's a lot of online tools that were there as well, in terms of understanding revenue management, rooms management. So that's how I sort of helped underpin the good experiences that I already had. There were obviously gaps and where I had lack of exposure.
Yeah.
So over the last sort of 4 or 5 years of working within Dubai, within a couple of hotels, I got that exposure and I got that knowledge. And then I got asked to, if I wanted to come to Bahrain to open a new hotel.
Sure. That is
Um,
fantastic. Yeah.
I was highlighted obviously by my GM, and then I was approached by the regional managing director, to see if I would be interested in a move, and that's initially how it started.
Oh, wow. That's a fantastic story. So, what do you think are the key moments in your career thus far that's brought you to where you are today?
Key moments, good question. Um, Definitely moving to Dubai, has really helped. Obviously, working within a hotel group like Radisson Hotel Group, um, allowing me to grow, giving me the opportunities. Working within a large group, it opens so many more doors. You know,
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact number. I think it's about 1,200 hotels that we have open, and many more in development. So
Yeah.
having them opportunities has probably been one of the biggest. But throughout my career is sort of working. I was thinking about this yesterday, and I've probably had 5 really big mentors
Okay.
over 20 odd years, and they've all played big parts in my career, and they've
Okay.
brought different strengths to me in terms of where I am today. So I have a lot to thank them for, really.
So, would you actually say that one of your keys to success is actually finding a mentor and people that can invest in you and therefore help you to grow within the industry?
Absolutely. I think in all the years I've now been in this industry, and again, I I had to think long and hard. I think it's 27 years now I've been in hospitality.
Sure.
It's a long time, and
Yeah.
the big things that I've thought about that have really influenced me in my career have been finding the right person, finding the right mentors, but
Yeah.
also finding the right company. Because you might
Yes.
have a good mentor as well, but also the company needs to support that development and support that progress.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think in terms of sort of pieces of advice, that type of thing, it's definitely been fundamental to me in terms of where I am today.
Ah, that's fantastic to hear. So then international, I mean, coming from the UK, moving to the Middle East, that must have been a huge transition. So how did that call to adventure actually find you? What, like, was there an advert or what did you see that said, okay, I'm leaving the UK, I'm going to the Middle East, and I'm going to make a success of it?
Yeah, I was quite fortunate because it's not easy. I've over the years I've tried to get jobs in Dubai, particular,
Okay.
and it's not an easy process. As you can imagine, there's a lot of CVs and there's a lot of activity because it's a popular place. There's a lot of people that want to work there. But I was quite fortunate. The general manager who I worked for the 5 years was actually somebody that I worked with 20 years ago.
Okay. Okay.
So I was a head chef in a hotel, and he was the operations manager.
All right.
So it was good. We'd had the experience of working together, but it wasn't really the ideal move in terms of where I was in my career at the time. Um, I was in Thailand at the time. It was
Okay.
over New Year's in 2019, and he was recruiting for an executive chef.
Okay.
Remember, for 4 years now, I'd been an operations manager within a hotel.
All right.
So I was like, right, okay, I've always wanted this opportunity to work internationally, and particularly in Dubai. So I reached out to him and I just said, look, I see you're recruiting. Would you consider me? Obviously, his response was, I thought you were in a suit now. So, and it was that was the response, and it was yes, I am. I said, but I'm prepared to make a move back into the kitchen, but I want the opportunities to grow and develop. I
Okay.
knew where I wanted to go at that stage. I knew what I knew I wanted to become a general manager.
Yeah.
Um, Obviously, so that's how it sort of started. I was very fortunate, and then unfortunately, due to COVID, I thought that dream was going to fall apart. I should have arrived in the April of 2020, and at the time in the UK, the UK went into lockdown in March, so that got delayed, and then I arrived. I arrived a bit later, but it still happened. So I arrived as the executive chef, and then when I left, I was a cluster hotel manager.
Oh, wow. Phenomenal growth, I must say, within your 4 years there. Or was it
Yeah,
five?
5 years. Yeah.
5 years. Fantastic. So, what would you say is the most daring experience besides COVID? I know we all went through that. It was a horrible time for hospitality. But what has been the most daring career experience that you've had?
Um, I actually think the moving to general manager,
Oh, wow. Okay.
because there are a
Why?
lot
Explain.
because there are a lot of unknowns. I'm working with a great owner. I'm working in a new country. I've never been before. One of my mentors said to me, welcome to the high rope with no safety line."
Is that what general management is?
Yeah, and it can be a lonely place. There's you have a lot of influence. You have a lot of obviously. I've got a team to build. I've got a hotel to open. We're still in pre-opening stage, so there's a it's. I would probably say this. It's going to be the most challenging. It's really exciting at the moment. I've been here. 7 or 8 months now, and it's definitely challenging. It's definitely rewarding, and I'm looking forward to getting to a stage where I can start with the fun stuff, bringing people on board, creating a culture, creating an environment, creating a hotel that we can all be proud of.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, sounds
so yeah,
interesting. Yeah. So, what advice would you actually give to young professionals looking at moving internationally?
I would definitely say do your research. It's not a say if you don't be take a chance. We're only here once. We're on this planet once. We're here to take chances. We're here to enjoy ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm so glad I did. I'm so glad I took that chance 5 years ago. I'm now in my obviously a new country.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I would say do it. It's the
Yeah.
best. It's the best thing. Traveling the world, seeing new cultures, working with new people, working with people from different walks of life.
Yeah.
That's what I love about this job.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially with me being in human resources, recruiting people from diverse backgrounds from all over the world is such an
Absolutely.
interesting experience. So, how do you actually create a workforce that is multicultural, diverse, but yet inclusive?
Yeah. So for me, it starts with the culture and the personality of the person that's coming in. They have to. Particularly my senior team, obviously I'd be working with them a lot closer than the more junior guys being a general manager.
Yeah,
It's about having the right personality. I need to work with them, but also they need to work with me. You know, it's not a one-way street. We have to be able to get on with each other, and
yeah,
we also have to be able to have fun.
correct.
I'm not. I can be a serious person. Obviously, you don't get where you get to with not being serious. But I like to have a laugh. I like to have fun. I like to bring fun to the business. Um, and I think in terms of the people that I recruit, that they need to have the right attitude. They need to want
Absolutely.
to learn. They need to want to live and breathe the culture. The culture
Correct.
is very, very important, and the
Absolutely.
right attitude. If you don't necessarily have the skill, you can develop skill. You can't develop attitude.
Absolutely.
Um, we have many tools. We have many ways of developing team members within Radisson. Um, and but you have to have the right attitude. You have to want to learn. So
Correct.
that's pretty much where I start. When I sit with people, when I sit with managers, I want to know them. I don't want to know about their experiences yet. I don't want to know about their um, how much revenue they've taken and how much they move the needle and things like that. I want to know about them. I want to know about their families. I want to know about what they do outside of work because that's
Yeah.
really important.
Yeah.
Um, so that's where I start, and it's about creating that right culture and that right environment where people can succeed. If I do that, then the rest takes care of itself.
100%. I think it was J.W. Marriott that said, hey, if you take care of your employees, the employees will take care of your guests, and you have a win win for everybody involved.
Absolutely, 100% right, and I've seen that many times in 27 years.
Yeah. So, one of the key topics now is about work life balance because COVID kind of showed us what a tilt we're actually in. So, how do you manage work life balance, especially starting a new hotel, creating a team from scratch? And I heard you say you were a family man in a new country. So, that's very interesting. How do you actually create that?
No, my time off is definitely family time. That's if I can get my son out of his bedroom if he's and get him off his Xbox. So if it's nice to have family time if he gets out of his bedroom. But outside of that, it's very much spending time with my wife. We like to
Okay.
go. We like to go, particularly in the part of the world that we are now. We like to go to pool days, beach clubs, brunches, just out for dinner. You know, it's
Yeah.
get out of the house, relax, switch off. I know as a leader, as a manager, as a HOD, or as a general manager, you're always going to be contacted.
Correct.
Unfortunately,
Yeah.
this business is 24/7.
Yeah.
You have to make yourself available. But trying to be in the moment when you're not in work for me is really important. So spending that time. Sometimes it's hard to do.
It is.
Yeah, sometimes it's really hard to do, and my wife will tell you this, that sometimes a WhatsApp message will go, and next minute I'm lost for 10, 15 minutes because I'm having to deal with something. But
Correct.
unfortunately, that's the game. But I'm also very fortunate that my wife, we met in the industry, so she understands it.
Oh,
Um,
lovely. That always helps.
yeah, but the work life balance, it is hard. I have got better with it as I've got older.
Yeah.
I think you start to realize that the sort of the priorities in life, and I think it goes back to this culture and recruiting the right people as well. Because if you create that environment and that culture, and have the right team around you and a strong team around you, then you shouldn't get that many phone calls outside of work.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's very, very rarely that I will call anybody on their day off. It can wait, unless something is really, really bad. It
Yeah.
can wait till tomorrow. So that's part of the culture. Is it really that important that I need to phone this person on their day off? No, it's not. It can wait till tomorrow. It's not going to matter if it's 12 hours. So
Well, I'm actually very pleased to hear that because, especially being in the hospitality industry, everybody thinks that, if I'm not at work, it's going to fall apart. But it's actually refreshing to actually hear somebody in management, especially GMs, that actually say, you know what, we have to prioritize a work life balance. Because I don't know if you've heard the saying, all work, no play makes Jill a very
yeah,
sad guy. So,
yeah. I have a very similar saying. Um, we work to live, not live to work. You
wow.
know.
Yeah, that
So
is true.
yeah.
Okay, so now you opening up a brand new hotel in Bahrain. So what recent facts and that we, especially not in the country, that surprised you? Because especially going to a new country, learning their culture and their way of doing things, it must have been quite a different vibe to Dubai. So could you tell us any fantastic facts that you've come across or anything
Yeah,
interesting?
it's very, 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 very different to Dubai. It's Dubai's hustle and bustle, 24/7. Bahrain is Bahrain's a little island. If you don't know where it is, if you're not familiar where it is, Dubai's a little island which is just off the coast of Qatar. Where
Okay.
so if you're a football fan, the World Cup was there in 2024.
Oh, wow.
And so we're in between Qatar and Saudi Arabia, just in the Arabian Gulf.
Oh,
Um,
no.
Little island. You can pretty much drive from one side to the other in about 40 minutes
Oh, wow. So it's
on a
quite
good
tiny.
day. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's quite tiny, and it's got a causeway that links to Saudi Arabia. So um, it's a bit of a leisure holiday destination for the Saudis.
Okay.
About 80% of the leisure business is from Saudi Arabia,
Oh, wow.
which is good. It's very, very relaxed. It's very, very slow paced. Like I said, very different to Dubai. Very historical.
Okay.
Um, Obviously, in terms of the Middle East, we obviously have a navy presence here from the
Okay.
US,
Yeah.
and there's a massive expat community. It's very similar that way in terms of other Middle Eastern countries. So yeah, no, it's nice. It's a developing country. The tourism is increasing year after year. Yeah, it's lovely. It's lovely. Very different. I'm very hot.
Okay. Like all Middle Eastern. You can
Yeah.
see I'm getting tongue twisted now.
That's okay.
So, like all Middle Eastern countries, is quite warm, hey? So, on a good day, what now is getting into your summer periods, how hot can it get?
Yeah, so today I walked the dog at about 7:30 a.m. and it was 22 degrees.
And with humidity?
Yeah, I went. Humidity's okay at the minute. It's not that bad. But I went out about 1 hour ago, and it's now 34 degrees.
Oh my
So it's 11:30 now in Bahrain. It's 34. It'll probably rise to about 37 at the peak of the day.
God.
So that's now, but in what I call European summer, so July, August, September, it will get to about 47, 48 degrees with a very high humidity of a field factor of about 57. So
Oh my
very hot,
goodness.
very, very
Okay. So I wish you all the best with that.
hot. Yeah.
Rather you than me. And what other fantastic things does Bahrain have? I mean, for a person like me in South Africa that's never heard of your country, I'm so sorry to say it, but what things are there as attractions for us to actually come and visit you and actually want to come there to Bahrain?
Yeah, so we have it is a holiday destination. So we have a lot of resorts,
Okay.
beach resorts, and I know I work for Radisson Hotel Group, but there are other hotel groups out there and luxury resorts. There are obviously the historical attractions. So there's a fort. There's the I've not been to it yet, but there's I think they call it the Tree of Life. So there's a tree in the middle of the desert. It doesn't have any water to it whatsoever, and it's been there
Really?
for hundreds of years, I believe.
Oh, wow.
But there's no water. Nobody goes and waters it. There's obviously the causeway, which will then take you across to Saudi. So if you wanted to go off, um, yeah, I've not been here that long, so I haven't seen a huge amount. The waters are turquoise, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
The island has a big pearling historical history.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots still to see. Lots still to see.
Okay.
I've been
Well,
busy. I've been busy trying to open a hotel.
well, that can keep you very busy.
Yeah.
So, with this whole brand new opening, you have to curate the guest experience that sets you apart from your competitors. As you said, there's many other hotels in the area that you're competing with. So, what is your hotel going to actually look, feel? What can your guests expect when they come to your property?
Okay, so the hotel. I'll tell you a little bit about the hotel. So we're going to be a Radisson Individuals Hotel, which is a fairly new brand for Radisson.
Yeah,
I think it's about 4 years old now within the company. So they branched out Radisson Individuals as another brand within our multiple brands that we have.
yeah.
It'll be a 5-star property, 207 keys, 6 food and beverage outlets. I'll have a team of around 100 to 120. So recruiting for a team. So if you're interested in coming to the Middle East, anybody that's on the call, please look out for my posts on LinkedIn. We'll be recruiting. In terms of the internal fit out of the building, it's going to be very, very unique. So my owner has purchased a lot of marble. So in the Middle East, there is a lot of marble that the marble is fantastic, different
Okay,
colors, very, very expensive. We have different floors with different marble. It's absolutely stunning. Some of the most expensive marble you can buy.
okay,
Very, very unique design, very individual, which is a perfect match for Radisson Individuals as a brand.
yeah,
In terms of the culture, I spoke a lot about having the right people. They're very guest focused. They're going to have fun. They're going to welcome everybody with a smile.
yeah.
Giving the best possible service we can, but keeping it simple. For me, hospitality doesn't need to be complicated. Keep it simple and make it consistent. With
Oh,
a yes I can attitude, I know as Radisson we have this yes I can, making memorable moments. These are exactly the cultural beliefs that I have, that I follow, and I expect my team and my managers to follow. So it's going to be a great hotel. It's going to be a unique venue to come to.
yeah.
It's got very much a sort of boutique style sort of fit out, but it's a big hotel. It's not
Okay.
small. It's 207 keys. You know,
Yeah.
yeah, it's exciting, and I'm looking forward to being able to move forward with it, get the team members on board, and start creating them memorable moments for our guests. So
Absolutely. I'm actually looking forward to the photos and all the content that you're actually going to be posting online about your property. So I wish you all the best of luck with that. So now
thank you.
let's go on to your leadership style because I hear you talking a lot about recruiting and getting the right team in place. So this is just kind of how do I say an introduction to Full's management style and what your
Yeah.
team can expect from you. So I heard you talk a lot about growth and development. How do you stay sharp and, on the trends and keep yourself growing?
So obviously, I lead a lot of sort of trade magazines and look at what's new and up and coming. I visit a lot of hotels and venues to see um, what other people are doing as well. Sometimes you don't have to reinvent the wheel. Yeah, in terms of my uh, creating that um, style and training and development, it's about being structured with it.
Okay.
It's about having a philosophy, having a again. I've said this many times, having the right culture, having the
Yeah.
right environment. Um, yeah, there are lots of different things, lots of different ways. Um, Stay relevant, keep it moving.
Yeah.
Don't stand still. Learn from your mistakes. Learn from things that aren't going quite well. Listen to your guest.
Yeah.
Most important thing, listening to
Yeah.
your guest.
Absolutely. They say when you get feedback, it's actually not negative. They're actually helping you to become better. So I'm a firm believer of that as well.
Absolutely,
And we
absolutely.
have actually have one of the questions here from the Q&A section. They ask, so being a chef, what key element of being a chef that's made you an exceptional general manager? So what part of being a chef that you actually translated into being a general manager and how has that helped you in your career?
Yeah, good question. There are a few things really. Being a chef, you have to be very organised.
Yeah.
You have to be very structured. Creating a dish, working through service. If you're not organised, everything falls apart.
True.
And I've took that approach when I went into operations manager and now into a GM. Having a structured approach and having a plan is probably one of the. You need to know where you're going. You need to know what you're doing. Um, yeah, probably that's one of the most
Yeah.
fundamental things that that I still do now. You know, um, in the kitchen, you have to be a team. It's working. Probably a kitchen team is probably the closest team there are in the industry that there
Okay.
is, because everything's coming together at the same time. So again, trying to bring that mentality front of house and into a senior team
Yeah.
is also really important.
Oh,
I absolutely hate when people start. I don't have a problem with having a debate, but when people are arguing with each other and they're breaking away,
yeah.
they're not a team. That's when it really starts to irritate me,
Yeah.
and I have to break that, because that then breaks everything else. We have to come back together. We have to be a team, and we have to be going in the same direction.
Oh, fantastic. Because you've actually just answered one of the other questions that we had on the Q&A. Do you think being a chef has made you a better manager?
Absolutely.
Could you
I,
explain?
I 100% believe that. I believe that I think differently than 90% of the managers that I've worked
Okay.
with
May
over
you,
my
can you
career.
just explain why?
I just have, I think being a chef, I think you have a different approach. I think you
Hmm.
have a different, my stress levels are higher. I don't get frustrated. I don't get agitated because until you've been in a busy kitchen service serving 300 guests in 2 hours,
Yeah.
you don't know what stress means. So yes, and I think a lot of the process. I spoke about process before of being organized and having processes. You have a lot of processes within a kitchen, and bringing them processes front of house, whether that be housekeeping, food and beverage, on bars, time and motion, things like that. In a
Yeah.
kitchen, you have to be efficient. You have to be as quickly, you have to work as quickly. And if you can bring them processes into a housekeeping department, right, how can I clean this room quicker? How
Yeah.
can I be more efficient? Same
Yeah.
with, same in a restaurant for service. Are you set up properly? Are you organized? Do you have your mise en place? Mise
Yeah.
en place, the phrase mise en place is used a lot in kitchen.
Correct. Yeah.
You need that on bars, you need that in the restaurants, you need that in housekeeping. Do you have your linen on the trolley? Do you have it set up the right way? These are all operational processes. You then take that into being organized with your sales and marketing plan, with your commercial strategy, doing
Yeah.
things at the right time, being proactive. Yes, you are reactive a lot of the time as well for guest needs, but you have to be organized, you have to plan. And it's not a plan for next week. This is a plan 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, you know?
So
So
you're
yeah,
always just going at it, hey, chopping the block.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. So another question from our audience is, have you ever noticed major differences in hospitality culture between the two countries? So from the UK to the Middle East.
Yeah, unfortunately I have. Yeah. Unfortunately in the UK, particularly the industry is really struggling in the UK at the minute. In terms of getting people into the industry, getting people into college or onto some sort of apprenticeship scheme, um, is really difficult. The In the Middle East and obviously in Dubai for the 5 years, the people that are working in the industry, um, particularly when let's talk about the teams or the team members coming from India, for example.
All right.
All of them have gone through 3 years, 4 years, 5 years hotel school, whether
Okay.
that be within it's ingrained in them. They see it as a way of life.
Yeah.
It's very different. I actually really, I love it. I love the what they bring. The team members they're there to please. Um,
Okay.
unfortunately, there are occasions in the UK where I've experienced that people are just there for the money. They're
Oh
not there
yeah.
for a career. It's sad, and it's sad that I'm talking about it being someone from the UK that's made a career out of hospitality. You know,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I've seen big differences generally just in terms of people that want to be in the industry and they want to create something for themselves.
Absolutely,
Um,
because especially with me being in HR, you can actually spot the difference so easily. And when you have somebody that is passionate, that really loves hospitality, like you said, it's a way of life. This is not work, it's what I get the privilege to do every day is to serve somebody else, to bring enjoyment and smiles to other people's faces. And if you love that, then hospitality is actually for you.
absolutely, absolutely,
So
100% agree.
another question that we have is, what excites you the most about working in Bahrain right now?
The most exciting thing for me coming up is starting to recruit a team and start doing the fun things. Um, we are very close. The last sort of 6 or 7 months have been a hard slog working with the project team, working with the owner, trying to get the hotel over the line, ready to be in a position to open a hotel. That's what I'm most excited about. I'm most excited about having some people around me where we can start to create that environment for our guests, create that culture for our teams. So yeah, that's what I'm most excited about. Yeah, I like the sun, I like the beach, I like the pool when I'm off. But I've come here to do a job. Yeah, so yeah, that's what I'm most excited about.
Fantastic, because I must say this is a labor of love. Opening a hotel as well. When you do this, it's like an impossible task, so to speak. And then you break it up into little segments, and then slowly you get to open your doors and you welcome your first guest in. And it's such an amazing experience. So I definitely agree with you. Bahrain at the moment with this project, which is your labor of love. We just cannot wait to actually have it open. And yeah, you start serving guests with your amazing team.
Thank you very
So
much. Yeah,
the,
looking forward to it.
so the next question we have, do you still enjoy cooking at home? Ooh, that's a good one because especially being a chef, 20 years experience.
My wife would say no. I would say I would say yes. I actually really like cooking homely food.
Okay.
Things that maybe I grew up eating with my family.
Yeah.
Um, I'm a yeah at home I'm a very simple cook. Um,
Okay.
so yeah, I do enjoy it. I love a barbecue. I love a
Oh,
barbecue
yummy.
on a hot day with a nice cold one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, so yeah, no, I do enjoy it. I get urges now and again where I want to do something a little bit more fancy, maybe
Yeah.
for a special occasion, which is quite nice. But generally, I cook very homely. Um,
Okay.
yeah,
So, what is your favorite dish at the moment that you're enjoying besides
I
barbecue?
I love seafood. On a
Oh,
barbecue, I love
yummy.
seafood. Yeah,
Okay.
I don't eat seafood very often because my wife doesn't like seafood. You can see the theme. So when there's an opportunity to get some prawns and some calamari
Oh, yum.
and pieces of sea bass and things like that, yeah, I'm in my element. I would rather, if I could eat fish every day, I would eat fish every day.
Oh,
Um,
wow.
yeah,
Nice little fun facts.
yeah.
Okay, so we got another question. So, what is your vision of the property? So, what is it that people can expect once the doors are open, your team is in, and everything is running like a well oiled machine?
Yeah, so it's going to be a high quality hotel. Um, the finish, like I said before, is going to be very unique,
Okay.
very individual. We're going to have multiple food and beverage offerings,
Okay.
being able to cater for all the tastes. In the Middle East, it's not easy.
Okay.
You obviously have different people from all over the world that come from the Middle East.
Yeah.
Sorry, that come to the Middle East.
Yeah.
It's going to be a friendly, welcoming environment. It's not going to be a stuffy hotel. It's not going to be Claridge's and the Savoy type of service. That's not, for me, that's not what hospitality is.
Okay.
It's about having that friendly environment, having people that want to return, because they had a great experience.
Absolutely.
But they felt like they were at home.
Yes.
There's like I said, F&B is going to be a key part for the hotel.
Okay.
Um, we've got a great pool deck. We've got a good gym. So all the facilities that everybody needs. Great for families.
Yeah.
Weekend. The Saudi market is much family driven over weekends. So we obviously have to cater for that and make sure that we're ticking all the boxes there for a family experience as well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But yeah, just creating that warm, welcoming environment.
So I'm looking forward to that, I must say. Hey, you actually tempting me to start booking a plane ticket now so I can come on opening day.
Absolutely, you're welcome.
So another question is great company to work for. I'm interested in joining the culinary team. Do you have any suggestions on how to get started?
Yeah. I would for joining Radisson and Radisson Hotels. Obviously, my first protocol would always be go onto our career website, have a look what vacancies we have, um, but also start following some of our amazing chefs that we have within the company. Whether
Yes.
that would be a sous chef, an executive chef, follow them on LinkedIn. I'm sure some of them have got social media channels as well.
Yeah.
Some of our bigger chefs. Reach out to HR managers within the company. Um, we we are always I see on our career website we're always recruiting for chefs, quality chefs. Yeah, it's we sometimes it's hard, particularly if this is probably what the big piece of advice that I would give you in terms of the Middle East and my experience of the Middle East. If you're
Yeah.
sending your CVs on Indeed, you're one. For example, if I'm recruiting for a chef de partie in Dubai,
Yeah.
as one example, I will post an advert. I will have 1,000 CVs within 3 days.
Sure.
So if you need to stand out, you need to try and put yourself through to the hotel in a different way. Because if you're going on Indeed, you may struggle just because of the sheer volume of applications. That's
Okay.
probably the one piece of advice that I would give from the other side. Yes, we advertise, but no manager can look through 1,000 CVs.
I agree
Um,
with
even though we would like to, and we would like to be able to screen everybody, nobody has the time, unfortunately, because we're all very busy people. So you have to try and make yourself stand out. So that would be to join Radisson. Yeah, go onto the career website, apply on there. I do try my best to go through as many CVs as I can for the obviously the senior roles that I generally screen all CVs for my senior positions, but
you.
the junior positions where there are a lot of applications, it's really, really hard for HODs, managers and different leaders across the business. So yeah, I think you have to
Thank you.
try different ways. You have to try
Yeah.
different ways.
I think that's very fascinating because most people are going with the tried and tested method, but like you said, you're getting over 1,000 CVs in 3 days, and it's almost impossible to go through all of them because by the time you've reached what 20 CVs, you've already selected the five people that you actually want to interview
Yeah,
and that you actually want to set up, conversations with.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's really tough, and but I think just to paint the picture for anybody that's particularly again from my experience in Dubai, even in Bahrain, I've advertised for roles for the hotel for my senior team. I've had 300, 400, 500 CVs within 3, 4 days for
Wow.
so yeah, it's hard. It's hard to get your CV in front of a manager.
Yeah, yeah. Sure. Thank you for that. Very
No problem.
insightful. And the last question that we have on our Q&A for today is what are your plans for your next career move? Ooh, that's a nice one.
Yeah, good question. I throughout my whole career, obviously I was a chef. I never thought I would be an executive chef. I was an executive chef. I never thought I would be an operations manager. I was an operations manager. I never thought I would be a GM. But I think when you reach certain milestones in your career and you develop them skills and you gain that knowledge and you realize the brain is actually very, very powerful,
Absolutely.
then why limit yourself?
Correct.
Why stop yourself from becoming the best that you could be? So
Absolutely.
I never thought I would open a 207 bedroom 5-star hotel with 6 F&B outlets in the Middle East. Never, never thought. So why can't I open a bigger hotel in a different country that's going to give me different experiences? I don't know what that looks like. It could be a resort in Vietnam. It could be a 600 bedroom hotel in Australia. It could be back in the UK. I don't know, but the next 2 or 3 years is about getting this hotel to be the best hotel that I can make it.
Absolutely.
and then take on the next challenge that's bigger and better.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. So, just to wrap up, Phil, so what would be your tips to the audience looking back at your career and where you've been now? What would you tell the young up and coming hoteliers? Do this, do this, do this, and this is where you could eventually end up.
Yeah, I've probably got a few really. I've mentioned it. I've mentioned one or two of them a couple of times, but just to recap, um, find the right company. Don't just take a job. Understand what they're going to bring to you. It's not
Absolutely.
just about you taking a job.
Correct. Yeah.
You need to. A manager said to me many years ago, make sure you interview the manager. Make
Oh,
sure
that's
you
good.
make sure
Yeah.
you actually understand what are they going to bring to you, what are they going to do for you, for your career, for your development. Yeah,
Absolutely.
okay, you're coming in to do a job and they're going to pay you, but make sure you're going to get some value out of. You might only be there a year, 2 years, you might only be there 6 months, but make sure you get something from that. Find the right leader. It's so important. Find the right person to work for. Like I said before, I've had 5 mentors throughout my 27-year career. They're now friends. I can pick up the phone at any given moment and they can give me pieces of advice. 4 of them are general managers, one of them was an executive chef.
Okay.
um, find the right leader. Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Ooh, that's another nice one because we are so trained to be perfect and do everything perfectly. So go on, please elaborate on that. Ooh, that's a
Yeah,
good.
don't be afraid. Make a decision. If you do not make a decision, you're not moving forward. Yeah,
Yeah,
a not making a decision is just standing still. But you're
yeah,
probably going backwards because it's going to have a negative impact on your business. At least
correct.
if you make a decision and it's wrong, you will learn from it. You will
Absolutely.
learn something. You will learn you will learn not to do that again. Or there might be something in that that just um, that goes, you know what, that didn't quite work, but you might be 50% there to the goal that you wanted to achieve.
Yeah,
So, but by not making that decision, you've already gone backwards.
I
So
actually
don't be
agree.
afraid to make a decision.
I absolutely agree with you because from everything that you said, my own personal career, I've had amazing people, even operations directors that fed into me, and having those relationships, being able to make decisions. Even if I made a mistake, I knew I had people that wanted to see me succeed and not want to hold me back just because I'm good
Absolutely.
in this position.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Phil. That was an absolutely amazing conversation. I've learned so much from just talking to you.
Thank you.
And
Really
all
enjoyed
the
it.
best for your hotel. Hey, I wish you all the very best with that.
Thank you very much, and thank you for everybody online for listening. Hopefully, you got some value. Hopefully, you can take it forward in your career. Maybe I might see you one day within Radisson. And if you're looking for a role, I'm not trying to poach people's staff, but if you're open, look out for vacancies that I'll have coming up in the coming months. There may be an opportunity to come and meet me face to face.
Ah, fantastic. Hey, all the best with that.
Thank you very much, Sammy. Really enjoyed it. Thank you for your time.
Take care. Bye,
Thank you.
Phil.